is Real Life with Susan Harf. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. And our favorite life coach, of course, is here to share her tips, tools, and strategies for getting us through those bumpy parts of life. And like you, I can't wait to hear what's on her mind today. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Rose. I'm happy to see you, and I'm thrilled that you're here with us also. So today I'm talking about, and I'm thinking about, what happens when you don't like your coworker.
Ooh.
Because, this happens.
Yeah.
This happens with everybody.
Personalities are different.
Right. And that's exactly what I want to talk about, Rose. You're such a good life coach. I want to talk about the fact that sometimes when people say to me, I can't get along with that person, they're difficult. What I want them to say instead is, I can't get along with that person because they're different than me. And the people that we understand the most, the best, are those that think like we do. You know how when we were growing up, your mother said to you, treat other people the way you want to be treated? That was the golden rule. My platinum rule is treat other people the way they want to be treated, because it's different. It's different.
Oh, let's say that again.
The golden rule is treat other people the way you want to be treated.
Right.
The platinum rule, which I think is the better rule, is to treat other people the way they want to be treated.
That's good.
So let me give you an example. I worked with someone who worked very slowly. When she was given a project, she did it the most thorough way possible anybody could do. Every T was crossed, every I was dotted. There was nothing that needed to be changed when she handed something in. And it took her a while to do it. This is not somebody who works quickly. It's not somebody who says, I'll have it to you in an hour. This is somebody who feels comfortable doing the project, then mulling it over, then editing it herself, thinking about the other possibilities that she could have done or ways she could have presented the topic. And when it's all done, she hands it to you and it's perfect. And that is how she works. There's also somebody else in my office who we worked with at the same time, who is somebody who, if you say to him, so let me tell you about how I'm going to go about this project, he would say back, I don't really care about how you're going to go about it. Just give me the bottom line. What are you going to get to? What's the end point? What's the result? And when can you have it by? And can it be fast? Can you see how he had a problem with her?
Right.
They don't want things the same way. He doesn't care if there's 5 typos in what you hand him. What he cares about is, can you give it to me in an hour? And give me your best shot. Give me your best. I don't need to know all of the things, the ways you thought about doing the project. I don't need to know about all the things that came to your mind while I'm making this report. I just need the bottom line, what you think is the best way to go. Give it to me straight. And neither of those two people are wrong. The only thing that can be wrong is if the former person is working for someone or wants, in some way, needs or wants to have things perfect every time. Or if the person who is the more cautious, slow worker, but gets it right every time, if that person is asked to work fast and just give me the bottom line and I don't want anything more from you. That's when the problems occur. Neither one of those work styles are a problem. But the problem occurs when we want something from someone who can't give it to us. And that's where I say the impetus then lies with us to figure out how can somebody work the best way possible. And then, if you're supervising that person, give that person what they need to give you their best. So sometimes when people end up leaving a job, it's because they were a square peg in a round hole. They weren't ready for that job, or they weren't meant for that job, or that job wasn't meant for them. When someone is in a job that they really should be in, then the parameters of that job speak to them. So for instance, there are people who don't mind speaking in front of groups. You and I are one of them, two of them. There are people who don't, they get anxious about other things, but that's not what makes them anxious. There are others who don't want to speak in front of a group, who don't want to be called on in class, who don't want to be asked to explain something to more than one person. They get flustered, they can't remember, they find it anxiety provoking. Mm-hmm. That's not the person who finds it anxiety provoking, that's not the person that you ask in the group to report to the larger group. You ask the person in the group who likes speaking in front of a group to give the results of the project. So it's when you find somebody who has personality traits at work that may not be yours, then you can play to their strengths and say, you can do that part of the project. There are people who, when they drive, they always drive the speed limit. They don't ever go above the speed limit.
You mean 5 miles above is not the speed limit?
It's for some people it is.
Okay.
But those are people who want to do what's expected of them. Mm-hmm. And those are people who, when you assign a project to, if you give them all the parameters that they need to do the project, that's all they want from you, is tell me exactly what you want and be very specific about what you want, and I will give it to you. That's the person that should not be in a role where you say, you create the template, you decide how you want to do it, you decide when you're going to do it. That person wants more structure from you. And there are some people who are capable of saying to the others, let's build the bridge. I can motivate you to do that. And without even telling them that they're going to be the motivator, they act in a way that they can motivate you to do whatever it is. The motivator likes to motivate the person who's going 55 miles an hour, or whatever the speed limit is now, 62, whatever.
55, I think.
55. I don't know where it is here in Roanoke. It's different in different places.
Right. But the speed limit, we'll just leave it there at the speed limit. So I'm thinking, are you saying that we should observe our coworkers before we judge them on whether or not we like them or we can get along with them or we have anything in common? Step back and observe their workflow and how they operate by either the questions they ask or the products they turn in or how they present at a meeting so that you can get to know them.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That is the first step. Get to know your coworkers and get to know how it is they work. Because most often I find that when people come to me and they say, we got a lazy guy on our team and we got to get him out of there. He doesn't do any work. He just, he sits in his office all day. Most of the time what I find as the consultant who goes in and looks at that team and how they're working, I find that person who the boss thought was lazy and wanted him off his team, I find instead that person, that colleague of his, he's not lazy at all. What he is thorough and he takes a long time to get it done. But there is a role for that person. And so the first step is not jumping to the conclusion that somebody's lazy because they don't work like you, or jumping to the conclusion that they don't care about making mistakes. They give me something in it and I always have to go over it. That person values being able to work quickly. And to them, that's productive. If they can get 5 things out today, that's much better. That's, in their mind, that's much better than working on one project. It may have some typos. It may have some errors. Know that about the person. But that doesn't mean that they are not productive and not a good worker or not a great colleague. It just means that you can count on them for certain things and not others. All of us can be counted on for certain things and not others.
And I'm thinking you've helped us with getting along with colleagues, but let's say that we've got a viewer who they're in the managerial position. And I'm hearing then, not only do you want them to observe, you want them to assign projects based on where they see that these particular employees, when possible, will be able to succeed.
Exactly. And, the most successful supervisors are able to assess what their team is good at, and then allow them to speak to their strengths and to do the projects that speak to those. And one of the first things I learned about you is that's the kind of supervisor you are.
Oh, thank you.
And I truly admire that, because what happens when you do that is you get the best from your people. And I know that about you because one of your team members told me that about you. So the fact is that people who work for you value that. And when you try and fit a square peg in a round hole because you decided that that's what you need done, and yet you know that that's not going to be the best thing for your employee, they're not going to give you their best work.
So really, the way this started today, I don't get along with my coworker, we can throw that out the window because we can get along with anybody.
We can get along with anyone as long as we, first of all, figure them out and figure out how they work and the kind of personality traits that they have that allow them to be motivated by different things than you possibly. So that's one thing. And then secondly, stop the judgment. Instead of assuming that somebody is, let's say, arrogant because they say to you, I don't have time for the discussion. They're not being arrogant. They're showing you that they are motivated by the bottom line and by directness and quick. That's what they need in order to be productive. So it's not that they don't like you. I've had so many people say to me, they must not like me, or they don't value my work. That's not the case. It's that what they truly want is quick, fast, bottom line, no details. If you're motivated by thoroughness and details and quality, that doesn't mean that you're better than the person who is the one who says, let's build the bridge and may not stay to build it. That's the other thing. We all have our not only personality traits that we bring to work and what motivates us and different things that motivate us, but the other thing that we have things about our personality style at work that are that can be an impediment to the work. So the other thing we need to find out is what are those things, and then make sure that we don't assign work to people whereby their impediment is going to get in the way. So for instance, if you need someone to head up a team who's going to motivate people to finish the project, and you're able to say, I don't need that person working alongside of them every day. I just need a leader who can explain to people why this project is important. Then you pick the person who is able to speak to the project and able to be not in any way stymied by people who want to go the speed limit or want the quality to be there or want to take their time. But they are the ones that are going to say, this is what we need to do. This is so exciting. I can't wait to see the finished product. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy we're going to do this. That's the motivator. Mm-hmm. That may not be the person who is going to cross every T and dot every I. That's okay. You have other people on the team who can do that, who want to do that.
And also very valuable.
And that's
also very valuable.
Exactly. And so instead of thinking about, I don't get along with my coworker, you can get along with your coworker if you are willing to take the time to understand what motivates them. And you know, right now a lot of people are working remotely, and you can still do this on Zoom. By the way people speak to you and the things that they say and the things they don't say, that's how you get to know what they value, especially what they value at work and how they work. If they say to you, I was up all night finishing this project, you know this is somebody who's oriented and motivated by quality. If they say, I handed in first thing, you know, I didn't really look it over again, but I wanted it to be there on your desk first thing, you know that they're motivated by directness. If they say to you, I was on the way to work, it took me a little longer because people were speeding alongside of me, but I was not going to do that. You know that they are motivated by being a worker bee. They want to do the role that you want them to, but they want you to set the parameter. They want to be the people who are going to be steadfast and work for you and work in a way that's going to make the project make you proud of the project and make the project work. So there's all of these various components that we need.
Yeah, they're all
to
important.
Work together. They're all important.
And there's a place for everybody.
There's a place for everybody, and that's what we need to focus on is instead of saying, I don't like that person, find ways to not only give them work that they are going to appreciate and do well with, but speak to them in ways that they want to be spoken to. So for instance, if a person is the direct person who wants the bottom line, you don't say to them, hey, how was your lunch? And tell me about that before I tell you what I need.
Right.
You go in the office and you say, this is what I need from you. Can you do it? That's it. It doesn't mean they're arrogant. It doesn't mean that they don't like you. It doesn't mean that they don't want to talk to you. They don't want the work to be about that. After work, you say to them, so guess what? I went to a nice restaurant for lunch. You want to hear about it? Yes. But everybody is different. If somebody wants something from me, I am the person who, I'm sure you figured out already, I'm the person who says, let's build the bridge, and I can help motivate other people to do that. But if you want me to do that, you should first say to me, so how was your day? How was your night? How was your lunch? And when you ask about me in those ways first, I am more motivated to give you what you want. So that's the critical piece of it, is decide for yourself, try and get to know the people with whom you work and decide what it is they need from you, and then give it to them. And when you do, you'll find that they will be much more likely to help you get what you need.
I love this. So are you like me, that you learn the platinum rule? Treat people the way they want to be treated? This is great advice. Thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, Susan gives us such great insight and advice. We're so lucky to have our own personal life coach. If you'd like to reach out to her, you can find her real life at blueridgepbs.org and send her a quick note or a question. And until next time, go out and live your very best life.